They were definitely out in the boonies. "What'd you hit?" he asked, glancing towards the smeared streak of roadkill that extended out behind the car and into the dark. It stank like the East River at the height of summer. Whatever it had been, it had lost chunks of itself. "Nothing," Tommy said. "A deer, I think. Doesn't matter." He looked at his friend. Tommy was short and built like someone who spent too much time at the gym. In contrast, his pal was long and lean and dressed like he wished he were in Atlantic City. "Help me get him out of there. Quicker we do this, the better." "There's no call for this," Westlake said as they hauled him out of the trunk. They weren't gentle about it, and he banged his head against something metal. They let him fall to the ground in an inglorious heap, then kicked him a bit when he didn't immediately pop up like a jack-in-the-box. "No call for it," he says, Tommy barked. "You hearing this, Frankie?" "I heard it." "You believe the stones on this guy?" "Maybe he's just stupid." Tommy squatted down, plucking at the pleat of his slacks as he did so. "That it, Westlake? You just stupid?" Westlake rolled over onto his back. "Let me take an IQ test and get back to you." He looked around. They were in a clearing surrounded by veritable walls of oak, Atlantic white cedar, and pitch pine. Or, as Westlake thought of them, trees. A good spot to hide a body. Tommy grinned. "Funny." "Funny enough to let me go?" "Ha! Sal would have my balls if I let you go." Westlake hauled himself into a sitting position. No easy feat with the tape wrapped around his wrists. "At least take the tape off, Tommy. You owe me that much." Tommy slapped him. "Keep my name out of your mouth. I don't know you nothing except a shallow hole in the barrens." He stood and looked at Frankie. "Get the shovel." Frankie frowned. "You get the shovel." "I'm not digging. I gotta watch him." Eyes narrowed in mounting annoyance, Tommy gestured to Westlake. "Get the shovel." "I can't dig, Tommy. My back. I got that thing with it, you know?" Frankie gestured helplessly. "It locks up." "Then we'll get you a massage. After you dig." Frankie grunted and bent to retrieve the shovel from the trunk, muttering obscenities under his breath. Westlake felt a moment's sympathy for Frankie, but it didn't stop him from stabbing the screwdriver into Frankie's leg with all the strength he could muster. The screwdriver bit. Cartilage popped, and Frankie gave a high-pitched scream. Frankie dropped, clinging to the rim of the trunk to stay on his feet. Tommy froze, but only for a second. It was long enough for Westlake to propel himself forward and drive his head into Tommy's well-padded midsection. Tommy staggered, and Westlake stumbled past, running into the tall timber. He heard Tommy shout something and then heard the telltale whine of a bullet creasing the air somewhere to his left. Thankfully, it was dark, and there were plenty of trees. Westlake pressed his back to one and waited, working at the tape on his wrists with his teeth. Tommy would be along shortly. He had a bad temper and not much in the way of smarts. It was why he was still doing this sort of thing rather than running something important. The mob had two sorts of guys: wise guys and smart guys. Smart guys ran things, handled money, and never went to prison. Wise guys did everything the smart guys were too smart to do. That included disposing of inconvenient contractors like Westlake. He heard the soft hiss of grass against Tommy's slacks. "You better come out, you lousy piece of crap," Tommy said. "Don't make me walk into the woods after you." Westlake waited in silence, counting the steps. He'd only get one chance. Tommy wouldn't give him two. "You really screwed Frankie's knee up, man," Tommy continued. "He's going to complain about that the whole ride back, so thanks for that." Twigs snapped under Tommy's feet. The tape finally tore. Westlake flexed his newly freed hands. He had big hands, knotted and sinewy, the hands of a violent man. Westlake didn't think of himself that way, didn't like to think of himself that way, but he knew it was in him, a seed of red that could flower at any time. Tommy was about to find that out the hard way. "You know, you really pissed Sal off, Westlake," Tommy continued. "I ain't never seen him that mad, and I've seen him angry, plenty. But you really got under his skin. Even Vinny couldn't calm him down, and he did try." "Remind me to thank Vinny next time I see him," Westlake muttered under his breath. Vincent Spinoza was Sal's consigliere, his number two. It was Vinny who'd set up the job, been the point of contact. Vinny was a smart guy, not a wise guy.